Hey, Angela, welcome back to another video. And for the first time in a really long time, we're doing this face to face because we're back at the office.
Yay!
So, for the topic of today's video, what we thought we would do is tackle leadership and mask wearing.
Yes, and now that we have many of our clients returning full-time or partially back to the office, and in fact, Stats Canada reports that of the 3.4 million Canadians, that 25% of them have already gone back to the office and more are going back every week. So it really becomes a challenge of how do you manage the protocols in your organization and how do you really lead in person? And that's the purpose of our video today. So Charles, what do you see as some of those challenges?
I think the first one that comes to mind is really how do you keep your level of effectiveness high as a leader while wearing the mask? How do you make sure that you express yourself in a way that's still going to move the business forward? When we look at everything that's going on, there might be like some dangers for leaders that don't get comfortable in wearing the mask and they trying to figure out a way to just ditch it and go back to how things were before.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at all of the surveys out there and seeing how many people are still not really comfortable in coming back to work in the office environment, as a leader, like how can you afford this? Not wearing the mask could actually like turn over a lot of the people on the team. So we actually wrote on a similar topic a couple months ago, if you remember. It was based on the expectations that team members may have of their leaders during the pandemic. And leading by example was one of the very important topics that we had on there, which is still very relevant to what's going on right now.
For sure. Setting the tone, setting the pace, making sure that you're really clear about what you're going to do and how you're going to behave as the leader, what your people need to do as it pertains to the protocols in your office. And that really also includes things like not leaving them guessing, right? Being really clear about that work. There's nothing more off-putting than a leader who is not communicating or modeling the behaviors and the social responsibilities that they have in the organization. And so this becomes an opportunity for them to be really clear. The people, like it or not, are expecting you to show up with clarity and, a very decisive way of handling and working in the office.
Yeah, and that starts with simple things. Like it starts with things like wear the mask. And then it goes to respect the social distancing measures that are put into place by the company. But then it goes above and beyond that, and it really lands in the place where I think leaders are responsible of helping the implementation and the empowering of their own people to leverage all of these safety measures that have put into place in the organizations. Because leaders that are high in emotional intelligence are not going to underestimate the fact that everybody's going to look at them to decide like what is acceptable and not acceptable in the office place, and that for better or for worse.
Exactly. An important part of the leader's role is to socially, psychologically, emotionally connect with the teams. And so this is an important part of doing that when you're in the office. And so some solutions that we wanted to share are things about even what we do when we're not in the office, when we're in the office, for example, and can't socially distance by wearing our mask. And so it's really about making sure that we have a more deliberate communication style. So using your eyes to really send your message and smiling underneath your mask that reaches all the way to your eyes, making sure that your tone is deliberate and really clear in your messaging, and even using your body language to match your message, and really using that perhaps even in an over-exaggerated way to communicate effectively. And lastly, laughter. I don't know if you know this, Charles, but a person laughs on average 18 times a day. And so this is a really great way to emotionally connect with your team.
Well, that's absolutely right, Angela. And I've been giving you my best smile the whole way through, and too bad you can't see it. So thank you so much for your time, Angela. Thanks for the insight. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thanks.